Everyone, and welcome to the final race of the night, Maji Beachfront GK. So, lore behind this one, Lamau. This part right here, you can imagine the other straightaway. It's supposed to be a train oval in the schedule, and it was pretty cheesy. Swapped it out for Paralis, but this track still made its way into this night of racing in a different form. Opix turned it into a GK. We needed a GK for this slot. And yeah, so we had Barvhog with the oval into a TRS, and then he did oval into train oval at that into a GK with this one. So pretty interesting, spicy way to make this work. I was really looking forward to this one, probably the most on the night, just because it's a very different concept. And yeah, should be pretty fun to chow. The H2A go-karts are very, very cracked. So the start's over here, and just immediately into a tight shack and down into train oval section, up this hill. Very tricky bump to navigate there. Chicane on exit already, very tight section. Hook a left. There's a jump into this last banked turn. Jump out, and that's it. That's it. Very short track. 225, 226, something like that on the checkpoint count for this one. Somewhere around there, and we don't have a grenade in this game type, so it's just a timed start. But let's go through the starting lineup. It's going to be Camby, Soul, right to left, Detail, Vulcan, Hunter, Armada, Blake, Slaunch, Roman, Luke. 225 going any moment now. Any moment. There we go, green flag. And you can see already, very, very tight track. It's going to be a tricky one to navigate. 3 wide already. Oh, big wreck already. What just happened? Oh, you see Soul got into that sidewall. And then Hunter and Vulcan just came in hot. They're down. Vulcan with the dismount, too. Camby going to lead the first lap down. Armada in second. Armada in second. The hopes still alive for Biggie Bagda. See if he can pull off this upset. He has a lot of people behind him vying for positions, so he's going to have to be careful here, but he is in a good spot at the moment. You'd probably hope for a little bit more of a gap, but he'll take what he can get, I'm sure. Camby with a good early lead, a couple laps down. And yeah, you can see already the pace of this track. 3 wide. Detail, Luke, and Roman. Oh my god. How are they making that work? No! Aw, come on, H2A. Biggie Bagda goes down. Ah, you can see it there. There's a sandbag. There's a cheesy sandbag, a dirty one. You gotta be careful for it. Watch out for it there on that inside. Armada clips it. One of those things, if you looked at the track beforehand, you'd find that out. But if you only did the sight laps, that's a quick one to figure out. And now Ramda falls back a couple spots. He's got that intense 3 wide. There's still 3 wide. It's that same 3 wide we were just watching. There's still 3 wide. Roman eventually... Nope, they're back to 3 wide. Okay, maybe settles out here finally. Yeah, finally. Roman takes the spot. Armada with a big 2-wheel, big slide jobs and crossovers out of Luke and Detail. Crazy intense racing we're seeing on this track early on. And Camby, meanwhile, with a great lead. And if Camby could see this right now, he'd be loving it. This is great stuff for Camby in this situation. Camby not having a moto win in the season yet. Is safely in the grand final. Oh my god. Roman went for a move there. Didn't quite have it. Trying to get by Armada. Slaunch, by the way. We haven't mentioned much. Yeah, you saw right there. Was able to get by a lot of this stuff. And Slaunch up to second already. So great start for Slaunch. Hasn't gotten a win in the GKs yet this season or anything outside of the train oval, really. Could this be an opportunity for Slaunch here? It is a great start. Crossover from Luke on Biggie Bagda. Ramda fighting back. Oh, they lock up. Oh, Jersey barrier action for Biggie Bagda. The hopes are falling apart. The run for Ramda. He's back outside the top 5 now, I believe. Or, yeah, I think so. Unfortunate. The hopes for any wildcard upset might be over at this point. We'll give them credit. Armada and Vulcan, they made it interesting. There was a couple close calls. They almost made it happen tonight. It was definitely more interesting than the Mega Mix one. That one, unfortunately, just didn't work out where anybody made anything crazy happen. But Vulcan and Armada were close. They were close. Just couldn't quite get it done. We have the three-way championship battle on screen. Luke leading it right now over Detail, and Roman behind them. And with the rough last race from Detail, we'll see if he could win this one. It'd be a pretty big regain, but it's and Roman and Luke both having really good nights. We'll have to see how everything looks at the end of the night. Allergy attack. We'll have to see how it looks. It'll definitely shake up the championship picture. I said it in the recap. Need to see a big night from both of them and a rough night from Detail. And so far, that has happened. Well, mostly just because of the oval. But yeah, so far has happened. So we could see a three-way fight into the final week of the season. I have to see how this race plays out first. But the stage is definitely set for it. It's been a while since we've had that. We might have it here for this series. Meanwhile, Slaunch is chasing down Camby. Slaunch is chasing down Camby slowly but surely. Almost there. And we might see a battle for the lead shortly. It's a tricky track, though. I mean, you can tell watching these guys race. It's a pretty rough track. Like, the terrain elements of it, I think a lot of these guys probably just aren't used to with the go-kart racing, because a few of the tracks implemented it a little bit this season, but this track definitely did it the most, I would say. It's the most impactful on this track, and that's just, again, that's something that they're not used to on this type of racing. I love it, though, really leaning into the cracked GK that we were looking for. A couple other tracks, I think, embodied it pretty well, but I think this track, now that it's come out, probably does it the best out of any of them in the season. And yeah, just really fast, action-packed, intense racing on this one. We go down, we're, I don't know, still a ways to go in this race, maybe a little over a quarter of the way there, but still a long ways to go. Again, these short tracks, the shorter they are, the more laps the races are, and the longer they feel, even though they're all relatively the same time. Can be getting a little wide at the top of that hill of the terrain oval section of the track, and Luke's getting closer to Slaunch. Slaunch is getting closer to Camby. I think we've got a battle brewing here soon. We've definitely got a battle brewing here. Let's see how this plays out. Yeah, they're gonna be getting together very shortly. We're gonna keep our eyes on this one. And Detail and Roman, not far off either. If they get together and they battle really aggressively, it could be a 5-way battle for the lead. Because, yeah, they are not far behind. Ooh, lap traffic, too. They're getting pretty close to Hunter. A lot of factors at play. At this point, I feel like it's not an if, a when type of thing. Like, when are they going to get together? Because it looks like the whole field is just closing in this top 5 pack right now. Oh, Detail and Roman battle has opened up. That's going to slow both of them down a little bit. For these top 3 guys, that's something they would like to see. Detail will take that spot back, but a little bit of a threat from Roman there. It's so close now. It's within a goose length for all of them. Let's keep our eyes. Here we go. Camby, Slaunch, Luke, battle for the lead. Second to last GK race of the season. Slaunch with a look to the inside. Can he do anything with it? Maybe not yet, but he's going to square it up. He's going to try to. Here we go. Luke having a look to the inside, not going to be able to do much there, but you could tell Slaunch trying to set something up here. And yeah, they're close. They're neck and neck. It's bumper to bumper now. Three-way battle for the lead. There they go. Luke goes to the inside. And Camby slides out. They both go by. Oh, big moment in the race. Break down what happened in that one. You see Slaunch had a big run behind Camby. And gets slowed up by him a little bit. Slaunch is stuck on his Camby's bumper. He's not able to square up the turn as well as he wants to. Luke's able to do it as well as he wants to. Doesn't have that bumper to worry about. So that sets up that pass. And then Camby trying to handle the hill. And maybe gets in a little too hot. Maybe gets a little bit of momentum from Slaunch behind. Maybe a little bit of both. But either way, slides out. They both go to the inside. They both go by. Camby goes back to third. Slaunch and Luke aggressively, but cleanly battling. And Luke will take the spot for the lead. Slaunch will go to second. Camby will go back to third. Very close for them off that one exit with that jersey barrier, but they managed to keep it clean the whole way. Oh, Slaunch goes wide now. And all right, hopefully that's about where we left off. Complete. Still pretty close for the lead. Yeah, Camby fighting back, trying to get back by Slaunch. Detail right there. Squares up the move, gets by Slaunch. And maybe Camby now too. Camby still trying to hold on to that podium spot. Even though Camby doesn't need it for the... Oh my god, very aggressive out of Slaunch. Even though Camby doesn't need it for the grand final. Oh no! Slaunch with the move of the night. What the hell? Roll it back. Alright, Roman. I'll wait. But, very aggressive out of Slaunch here. Trying to find that 3 wide. Camby, again, very aggressive too. Wants to still get a good finish. Even though Camby's good for the grand final, you still want to get a good finish. It's side by side with Camby in detail. And Slaunch gets his 4 tires to the ground just very early on the inside. And just gets a speed boost and just straight chows them both. Aww. And Roman comes around and maybe benefits the most off of it. He passes all of them. Lap complete. What a moment in the race. I don't know how that just happened, but that did just happen. So meanwhile, if you're in the Luke POV, that's a nice moment for you. But for everybody else trying to track down the leader, I mean, that's not gonna help any of them out. So you just know it's all gloves off, duke it out battle for the podium spot. Crazy slide on the inside there for detail. Gets around Slaunch. Slaunch still fighting with Camby. I think both of them showing Slaunch a little love after that move. But Slaunch gonna fall back to 5th, gonna have to regroup. Try to rally it back after that one. So Roman and Detail benefited off that eventually a lot. They get by. They're up to 2nd and 3rd now. It's Camby, Slaunch, 4th, 5th. Lap complete. Oh, Roman a little high. Oh, there goes Detail around the left. Not going to be able to do it, but there's definitely an opportunity there for a move. Lap complete. As we're about, I think we're a little over halfway through the race at this point as well, by the way. Oh! Wow. Look at this chow of a move on Roman. Oh. Nice and clean, too. Wow, that was a tippable pass. Detail going to move to 2nd. Roman going back to 3rd. And something must have happened to Slaunch, because now a big gap behind. It's unfortunate that it played out like that. It was a really good start for Slanch, and he hasn't had great finishes on the GKs entirely this season, and that had really good potential. It just shows how quickly these races can go to shit. It just goes to show. One moment battling for the lead, next moment back to 5th just a few laps later. It's tough in the short track series. Oh, they got some Hunter blue flag action to navigate. Oh my god. The random H2A speed boosts. And now it's back to... It's a 3-way battle for second. Camby's back in it. Camby is back in it. Roman looking for an opening behind Detail. Not quite finding it yet. Camby trying to stay as close behind as possible. Camby knows there's potentially some opportunities awaiting here. Just stay with the pack. Good racing on this one. This track is cracked. There's the lead gap, but Detail gets a big gap right there on that particular exit. And Camby, meanwhile, is sending on Roman. That's potentially the moment the Detail needed. Finally get away from them, finally get some clean air. Can he make a move to chase down the lead? As he hits the line right there, Luke's going around that final turn in the oval section. So it's a pretty big gap, but there is a decent amount of time left. It's not a ton, but maybe with some lap or cheese, could get interesting. Speaking of lap or cheese, here we go. Biggie Bagda. Does he strike again? Biggie Bagda not giving it up easy. Biggie Bagda. Wow. No blue flags for Ramda at this point. He's over it. Oh, but then the inside hits the inside there, and that'll work itself out. Thought Camby just went straight off. Not quite. Still going to get around Biggie Bagda as well. So that lapper cheese potential is down. There is still Vulcan would be the next one up, but we're also running out of time. But we're coming to 5 laps to go, so hopefully we can make 5 laps. That'd be pretty pog. That is the lead gap. It is closed a bit, but it's still a pretty sizable one. We'll see if Detail can make something crazy happen here. Seems like he's really picked up the pace at the end of the race. Roman very clearly in that third, then Camby and Slanch. They're all still pretty close. The top 5's just persisted throughout the race. But there we go, 4 to go. Not a whole lot of time remaining. Again, the lap's very, very rapid on this track. But it is pretty big gains from Detail. You can almost see Luke on that straightaway on the terrain oval section now, so that's a pretty big point to get to where you can see the person you're chasing down, but again, not a whole lot of time left. I'm watching the same reference point. It honestly seems like a pretty similar gap that time around. Maybe a slight gain, but nothing too crazy. We're coming to 2 to go. 2 laps remaining. Yeah, it seems pretty similar. Again, if closing, just not enough. Some lap traffic, but I don't think it's going to be caught at this point. White flag one more time around. White flag one more time around for Luke. Going to try to take another GK win. Takes this one. Detail and him will be split on those going into the last week of the season for this track type. He's going to do it. Luke going to take the win on Maji. Detail will take second. And it's still pretty close between those guys, but Roman will take third, Camby fourth, Slaunch fifth. We got Soul sixth, Hunter and Vulcan. Hunter was a lap down, so Soul, then Vulcan. Sixth and seventh. Blake pulled off at some point earlier in the race. Armada will beat out Hunter for eighth. I don't know why Soul's running an extra lap just for funsies, I guess. Hunter will take ninth. Obviously, Blake going to be running out the field in 10th in this one. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Pretty good stuff here in this week of racing. One of the cheesiest nights in the schedule. A lot of super tight tracks. So yeah, a lot of cheese from that, obviously. But for how crazy the tracks were, racing standards weren't too bad, all things considered. Again, factoring in that these were some of the harder ones to navigate, in my opinion, on the schedule. But yeah, that'll do it. Obviously, the way these races played out will have big implications on some of the regular season points battle is going to be pretty close, and it'll be interesting to see what that looks like after tonight's results. But you'll have to wait for the recap. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. But as far as this end of this video is concerned, we can go over the schedule a little bit. That you don't have to wait for. But yeah, keep an eye out for the recap. Get an idea of what all that stuff's looking like. Because obviously tonight we'll shake it up quite a bit. Oh, the other thing that I can go over in this one, actually, besides the tracks hold, is the grand finalists. So nothing changed. There was some close opportunities, but nothing changed. So your grand finalists, your drivers that you'll see, unless somebody misses the night and there has to be a replacement. I don't think that'll happen, but in case that happens, it's going to be Luke, Detail, Roman, Camby, Slaunch, and Soul. Those 6 made it in on points. So again, those 6, they all made it in on points. And then through the wild card was Hunter and Blake. So all of them here today. All of them here today. So they made it through on the wild card. And those other 6 I mentioned made it on points. So congrats to those drivers. That'll be the field. That'll set the field for the final night. It's just going to be the regular season and grand final finale in one. So you're just going to see those 8 drivers on that night, the ones that I just mentioned. So be an 8-person shootout for any regular season battles that remain and the grand final title as well, all at the same time. Should be pretty interesting to watch. But now that that's over, the schedule, what we've got to look forward to. The first race, we're going to be back at a train oval already to kick off the grand final. Adrenaline Autodome, we're going to be returning to that one with a slight makeover update recently, but same old track essentially. And we're going to be racing that one again, so that'll be fun. The one, well, I guess it's a little bit different with the makeover, but the one track, the one train oval in the season that has been raced before. And then we've got Haagen-Dazs, great name, Slaunch, AX. So we're gonna have the name is intentional. We're gonna have a Hog AX, so there'll be 2 Hog races in the grand final, which is interesting. There was a couple, we had a Hog train oval thrown in there. We had a Hog AX thrown in there in the regular season. So a few odd Hog races besides the TRS ones, obviously. But we're gonna have 2 of them in the grand final, so it's gonna be an even split. That'll be interesting. So yeah, Autodome, Haagen-Dazs, and then Jade Park, GK. So another OpX GK on Halo 4. That one's been ready for a long time. Very tight in some sections, but a pretty good one. That one should be fun to race on. A lot of laps on that one as well. Very small track. 2 OpX tracks coming in the grand final. We close it out. Cheesy last race to end it on with a TRS, Akai Curie TRS. That's from OpX as well. So yeah, that's the schedule for the grand final. That's the 4 tracks. They're all on the files. So they're all ready to go. Nothing, no last minute cheesing with any of those. Those are all ready to go. So schedule set. Have those to look forward to. You know what the grand finalists are. You know who you are. You know what the tracks are. Everything's all set. Now you just have a week to prepare. And yeah, we'll close it out next week, next Friday. Yeah, close out. It's been a pretty fun season. Pretty fun, different season. But that's going to do it for me tonight. I'm sure the game cap will probably break in like 2 minutes anyways. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Luke going to be taking the win and the overall. And that reminds me, fuck me, I forgot to go through the overall results. Did everything else. Didn't do that. Overall results on the night, Luke going to be taking the overall win with 49 points. Roman going to be taking second overall with 46. Detail going to be taking third overall with 38. Saunch going to be taking fourth overall with 36. Vulcan going to be taking fifth with 33. Camby going to be taking sixth with 32. Hunter going to be taking seventh with 30. Blake eighth with 20. Well, Blake eighth with 28. Armada eighth with 28. And Soul eighth with 28. 8th, 9th, 10th. They all got 28 points. So they tied for that last place spot. But there you go. Now we got everything. I didn't miss anything. Now we're good. All right, that wraps it up. The only other thing left to go over is the point situations, but still have time to figure all those out. So look forward to the recap this week. Break all of those down, break all those scenarios down, figure out the mulligans. Yeah, the track championships just go over everything, any other regular season battles, not just the champ battle. If any of those other regular season spots, if they're still close, go over those. And set the stage for the grand final. All right, GG's. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you next time. Later.